So Rob, at times we're asked, what's the difference between a workers' compensation case and a personal injury case?
So a workers' compensation case happens when the person is injured at work. And under the law of all states, they have an exclusive remedy with the work comp system. It's a completely different system than what we deal with, the civil justice system. And it's designed to make sure they have like a minimum benefit for lost wages and for medical care. But that's pretty much it. It can get expanded for future medical care, future lost wages if there's a very serious permanent injury in the mix. But generally speaking, it's a very limited remedy, and it's in that system. They have their own courts, they have their own judges, they have their own methodology and rules that the lawyers have to follow. We don't, that's not what we do.
Right, and it really doesn't take into account pain and suffering.
No pain and suffering.
Part of our cases.
Right, and the money that they allot for future medical care, for lost earnings, is set by these rules, and they're not necessarily what the person is actually losing or incurring in the future.
But however, there is a crossover where workers' comp and personal injury coexist with one another in a case. For example, give us an example.
Typical example would be a driver for a company. He's delivering something. He's on the job. He's on the clock. Somebody hits him. So he's a pizza guy. He's a UPS guy, whatever. And that person would then have, they got in a car crash and they got hurt, they'd have their workers' comp remedies through that system. They'd also have their third-party remedies through the civil justice system that we do.
Right.
And they don't stack upon each other, though. So usually a third-party recovery means you're going to have to pay back the workers' comp system for the money they've laid out. And part of the thing we do is, okay, we negotiate how much gets paid back and all that, and we get them this hopefully much bigger sum of money, though. It makes all that worth it.
Right. And we see that in construction cases too.
Construction case.
Working on a job, and let's say they're a subcontractor, and then another subcontractor or somebody else working on the job causes an injury. So you got duality there, workers' comp and personal injury.
As long as they're separate companies.
Right.
Can't sue your own company under workers' comp.
Right.
Forget it. But you can sue some other company that may have been negligent or done something unsafe on the work site. And we just settled one. The rebar guy is laying rebar, he's unpacking rebar, and there's a crane delivering the rebar. The crane operator is with a separate company. He's delivering this rebar. Somehow the crane goes out of control and hits our client, our guy, on the side of the face, causes a very serious injury. And we had to untangle that one for quite a bit in order to get him compensation, because they kept saying it was not the crane operator's fault, it was his co-worker's fault. If it's his co-worker that signaled or did something wrong to make the crane go crazy, he can't sue them, it's his own company.
Yeah. So the idea is if you are injured on the job, you have to also perhaps contact an attorney like us that handles personal injury to see if you have a personal injury case too. And there's an obligation on the attorney that's handling the workers' comp to tell that person who's injured that you might have a third-party case.
Here's the rule, I would say. If you're hurt on the job, but you're hurt by another, as a driver in a car crash, definitely have a third-party case. If you are hurt from some kind of product, whether it's inhaling something or the machine doesn't work the way it's supposed to work, you probably have a third-party case. And on a construction site, if it's another contractor, another sub that does something unsafe and you get hurt, definitely you have a third-party case that you can pursue, or you should. So those are the kinds of things. And your work comp lawyer really has an obligation to kind of take a look at that for you and tell you if you have third-party remedies. And by third-party, I just mean a typical personal injury case against somebody who is negligent other than your employer.
That's what we handle.
We don't do workers' comp, obviously, but we do those work comp overlap cases, those third-party cases.
Right.
And if somebody thinks they have a case like that, you should definitely call someone like us for sure.